Hello all sentient beings and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode of Transmissions, we discuss Iron Factory's new figure announcements, War for Cybertron Siege Greenlight is revealed, and Walmart is getting some more G1 reissues. Today is Wednesday, December 19th, 2018, and this is episode 308 of Transmissions.
Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that's combining two podcasts into one, a single host at a time. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team of one, Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
Hello. Let's talk Transformers.
All right, and we are down a couple
lonely here.
A couple
Charles.
Podcast hosts this week. We brought in a ringer to help us out this week. So please welcome Aaron from WTF at TFW.
Hey guys, how's you doing? Always happy to help out.
Yeah, great to have you.
Thank you for coming in last minute, replacing two slackers.
That's all right. I can do the work of two people.
We've heard that.
Well, Yoshi's a slacker, but Jeremy did have the flu, so he has an excuse.
So he says.
These guys, the kid brought home something.
Okay, Aaron's not saying Jeremy's lying, but...
No. The kid very well could have brought home something. I don't know. But everybody that I know at work that has children uses it as a wonderful excuse.
I might use that excuse too sometimes, but anyway.
I'm saying you're lying.
Kid is so sick. I'm totally not hungover from... I mean, no. Why would anybody mention having a hangover from last night?
Final season of Voltron came out. I am sick as a dog.
Yeah, we got through that early, though.
All right, well, let's go on. The show must go on, so let's go on. We normally do take a minute to thank all of our Donatrions, those folks who give us money on PayPal and Patreon and help keep the show going. There aren't any new people this week, but we still want to thank all of our old people. And you guys continue to get all those perks, like listening to the show live, getting that monthly extra podcast, Transmissions Declassified, getting some swag that we get out every few times a year, and our undying love. So all that stuff is included in your donation. So keep it going. And if you are not a Donatron and you would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and that's how you can figure out how to do it. All right. So also we announced last week that our best of 2018 survey is live. It is still live, so you still have a few more days to.
I might be doing it right now.
To fill it out. Please let us know what your thoughts are for the best Transformers toys and comics of 2018, and we will get those results out in a future episode. Maybe the end of the year episode? We'll see. But yeah, you have until Friday, December 21st. So while you're sitting waiting for the Bumblebee movie in your seat, you can fill it out on your phone. Let us know. Also, we have lots of Transmissions merchandise on our store that's powered by TeePublic. You go to transmissionspodcast.com/shop. You can get stuff there. All that stuff gives us a little kickback. Also, you can go buy everything from TeePublic through our store and give us a little kickback too. So that just helps out the show as well. It's a little close to Christmas now, but if you're still looking for,
So you got all that extra spending money.
And, New Year's gifts, maybe. I don't know. But maybe someone in your life wants a Transmission shirt.
Come on, you should help these guys out. Listen to how they have to rattle that cup. Just... Please, we'd like to actually have some food in this soup instead of hot water.
Podcasts don't really pay that much.
No, they don't.
All right, well, that's enough with the mindless shilling. Let's get into talking about some Transformers toys.
All right, and first up this week, we've got some really cool news about what is coming up next with the G1 reissues that we've been finding at Walmart. So the beginning of the week, we got a message from the official Facebook and Instagram accounts from Hasbro saying, hey, we're going to have a vote to determine what figure you want to see on the shelves for, I thought it was 2020, but the story says 2019. Let's just go with the future. It's something that is coming up. And the 4 choices were Perceptor, Astrotrain, Skywarp, and Thundercracker. I thought it was kind of odd having 2 Seekers in there, but whatever. So the votes were to be tabulated in Instagram and Facebook, and it went through quarterfinals, semifinals, and showed off the winner. So first up, Astrotrain versus Perceptor. Astrotrain beat out Perceptor. I was shocked by that because I thought Perceptor has got this in the bag. He's a really cool character. And then between Thundercracker and Skywarp, that's a toss-up for me. They're the exact same thing. So,
do you like blue and purple or purple and blue?
Exactly. So Skywarp won that battle there and went on to the finals of Astrotrain versus Skywarp, and the winner being Astrotrain. So that will come at some time in the spring of 2020, says the article here. So the first article was wrong. There you go. Yeah, so is that cool? Is everyone happy with Astrotrain, Aaron?
I think so. The first time I looked at this, when it first came around, I was like, man, putting the Seekers up against each other, that guarantees one of them's going to lose. Yeah, that's probably a good call. So that it's not like the finals are Seeker versus Seeker, and I don't know, no matter who wins, we all lose. So was there actually a quarterfinals? Because quarterfinals would imply that there were 8 down to 4.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I misspoke there. It was just semifinals to finals. Okay.
Because I was going to say, was it Thundercracker, Skywarp, and then Thrust and Dirge or something? Just throw all the Seekers in one bracket. But I kind of think I might have liked Perceptor a little bit better over Astrotrain. But I can see both of them. Astrotrain is a cool triple changer versus just the Seeker jets that are the same Seeker jet that have been out there 11 billion times.
Right.
So, and when was the last time that we got an Astrotrain toy?
Well, we just got the reissue in those funky colors a few years back.
Yeah.
And we did have Titan's Return Astrotrain just a couple years ago.
Yeah, but
it's true.
I'm really hoping for the anime colored Astrotrain, not the toy colored Astrotrain. Sure.
Right.
If it could be the anime colors, that would be, as the kids say, dope.
The kids don't say that. We say that. The kids don't say that anymore.
No, but we say that the kids say that. Therefore, it's like a mathematical function.
Right. Well, Charles, are you as jazzed as Aaron is about this Astrotrain being voted back?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's in hindsight, it seems kind of obvious that Astrotrain would win because he is a triple changer. I know Perceptor does have a secret third mode, but a triple changer is I think generally regarded as better than a normal transformer. So it's not too surprising that he would win. But I would also like to have the anime colors rather than the toy colors. That would be cool.
Right.
One thing though, does it really take over a year to get this toy on the shelves? I mean,
my bet would be is if it's going through the especially since it's all of these are going to have die cast in them. That's probably not a process that gets done quite as often. So you'd have to go to a place that either spin up a place to do die cast in large amounts, or go to somebody that's done your reissues in the past and get a slot on it. If it's spring 2020, that very well could end up being really Christmas time 2019, but they don't say that for reasons. So a year out, maybe. I mean, because there's not that many days left in 2018 at this point.
True.
Yeah,
and if they're doing for real, this was a vote that all happened within 3 days. If they had it ready to go, if they had everything mocked up and ready to go right now, I think what I've seen in the past is like 6 months from the time that you say we want this and you have everything else locked in to the time that it's on in the US. Just for like manufacturing, you've got to get a line, you've got to get boxes set up, you've got to get all that stuff. So, and that's if they have everything like ready and waiting to go.
I guess I'm kind of surprised that they did, like, given the success of, I mean, I'm assuming that they had success with the G1 reissues this fall, that they don't have something to follow it up immediately.
Do you want like 300 hot rods? Because I can go to a local Walmart and get maybe not 300, but
we've got
at least a strong double digit of hot rod.
We've got something to follow it up on in a second. I've got something for you. But first of all, my opinion on this is I wasn't super stoked to see Astrotrain win, based on the fact that my short little part-time gig at the local comic book store that also sells Transformers has like 24 original G1 Astrotrains complete. Nothing wrong with them that they cannot get rid of.
So is there just some guy in your neighborhood that was like the Dreadwing guy?
I guess that just bought all the Astrotrains.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're priced really well. I mean, I've priced them all myself at like, I think $35.
Well, if you priced them, it's probably overpriced, but.
Oh, probably. I must be. But yeah, for some reason, they just can't get rid of these Astrotrains. And I mean, like I said, these are originals and we can't sell them. So I'm going to say it here. Astrotrain is going to be the hot rod of 2020 and it will sit there and just peg warm or shelf warm.
Well, there's also going to be the difference of Rando McRanderson walking down the aisles at Walmart trying to kill time while he's waiting for an oil change going, oh crap, I remember this as a kid.
Yes,
versus going to a comic store where you've got like direction, and believe it or not everybody goes to your comic store.
Oh, I'm that's a surprise. But yeah, no, it's I understand that, and
those two border crossings on Wednesdays are a real pain, but I try.
It is a it just seems to be that there's always a lot of Astrotrains around wherever I go. It seemed to be like a very popular figure back in G1. Everyone seemed to have one. So the fact that it won is just going to put more of them into the market, which I'm not against. It just I would have liked to have seen another figure win, like Perceptor or even one of the Seekers. But it just seems like this is just another one of those figures that was very popular. But anyway, I'm going to move on to the next bit of reissue story that I've got, and this is I don't know if it's a leak, but it's an early sample that seems to have come out of China, and it is it's an interesting package for this figure. This will be a Walmart reissue, and will be coming out in the next few months, I guess, on Walmart shelves. This is Optimus Prime, and we are getting him sans trailer. This is an interesting exclusion, seeing as I don't know how many times the G1 Optimus Prime has been sold without the trailer. But it does shrink down that packaging and its price point quite a bit. So, this is pretty cool. I don't know, guys. Charles, we'll start with you. Would you be interested in picking up an Optimus without its trailer? Does it make a difference?
Yeah, it makes a difference. I would not want to get a reissue without its trailer. I mean, the trailer's got all the cool little accessories.
Even if it cuts the price in half?
No, I'd pay. So what is half? Is it $25 versus $50, or 50 versus 100?
There's a whole lot of talk saying that like the official price is like $50.
$50 for just this?
And I could correct.
Hard pass. I mean, I got the 25th anniversary Optimus Prime reissue, which was what, like 10 years ago, maybe? 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, well, I got it for Christmas, so I don't know how much my wife paid for it, but I would guess she probably paid maybe $50 for it. But that comes with the whole figure and the DVD and the comic, and bunch of other bits. So yeah, charging $50 for just the cab as a reissue? Nah.
Yeah. I'm trying to run back through threads to see where, because a whole lot of people are reacting to like, $50 pass. I'm not sure where that directly came from, but that doesn't seem wrong. I'd bet it's maybe more like 40.
Okay.
And so, yeah, the original one in the 25th anniversary in 2008 retailed for $70.
Okay.
With everything.
Yeah.
US. And that's probably more like 85-ish in today's money. So,
but that had the DVD and the comic and other stuff in it in addition to the toy. So cut all that stuff out.
Yeah, but like the Rodimus is like $30.
Well, now it's 13 on Walmart's website.
Well, so here's where it is. Somebody found jammed the UPC into BrickSync, and it came out. It's in there. It's in Walmart's system at $49.97. So
that kind of sucks.
That's what it is in their system right now. But it's also a question of like, is that kind of a placeholder? Like I said, I can see 50 because it's retro. Because this isn't something that you're buying for a kid. This is something that an adult is maybe more towards impulse purchasing. $50 is a big impulse, but
yeah, I mean, for me, it's that price is too high because it is. I mean, I understand you're trying to capitalize on the nostalgia retro, but this is a reissue, so it doesn't have the same sentimental value as something that like one of the original pieces, or even like one of an older reissue. I mean, I would say if you're going to spend $50, put that towards getting a vintage one, or
Yeah, but you're coming at this as an adult collector. Like, this is I highly doubt that many of these reissues through Walmart are aimed at adult collectors. This is going for the people that are walking their kids down the toy aisle and see something that they remember. Because there are plenty. If you want just an Optimus Prime cab, yeah, there's less expensive ways to get it. There's been this thing has been released dozens, if not 30, 40 times across various versions. And then I've got 2 different versions of a Masterpiece just on my desk here, another one upstairs. There are plenty of ways to get an Optimus Prime if you're one of us. Somebody that's listening to and or recording a Transformers podcast.
One of us.
Like, I'd say that we're probably an odd market to try and zoom in on versus what this is like aiming for, which I think is an entirely different market. That $5 to $10 a flex that we'd sit here and stomp our feet over isn't going to amount to anything, because such a person isn't going to be looking at eBay comparables of this one versus I just want the cab, so like a Pepsi Prime would be okay from those like 8 billion of them that they made back when they did that one. Which was about the only Prime I could come up with that came without the standard trailer. Same with Hot Rod. That's like the 3rd time that he's been re-released in the US. It's a good portion of this is also probably whatever like actual molds they have available.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
So like the way that this guides is going to be based on that and their expenses to get those toolings up and running and make enough to be worth it for Walmart. And I almost wonder if Walmart isn't looking at what Toys R Us in the US's pricing would have been, because there ain't no Toys R Us in the US anymore, so they can have some of these more premium toy items and get away with it.
He does come with 2 guns, though. That's cool.
Well, there you go. There's been a lot of talk as to what people might think or want to speculate as to, if Prime's coming out and now we're going to get an Astro Train, what might the future years of the G1 reissues hold? And I think at least for the first little while, look towards what I've been telling people anyway is look towards the commemorative series from the early 2000s. Those will be the molds that are readily available still. The stuff that's been re-released or reissued recently, Blitzwing. If we got Astro Train coming, Blitzwing was in the double pack with them recently. The Insecticons were done recently. Look for those things. They're going to come. They'll be part of a pack. Probably the Insecticons will come out individually in like blister packs. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah. So if you want to speculate as to what we might see, look at those ones that came out. Mini bots. We got a whole slew of the 85 cast in one box a few years ago. Yeah. So Beachcomber and Cosmos and Warpath and stuff, they all came out in one box. So there's a whole another wave of mini bots for you there too. Not to mention the ones that came out in the first year that haven't come out yet. But yeah, so there's a lot that can still be done that have come out recently in re-releases. So they don't have to start scratching or digging around for unused molds to try and do. And don't ask about the Dinobots and Grimlock and all of them. Those were destroyed. If they do find them, or if they do come out, these will be brand new molds, which should be kind of cool, but not something that I expect that will be done for a reissue line. But that's it for me. I'm going to pass it off to Aaron. What did you find this week, bud?
Hey, so Iron Factory showed off a whole lot of their upcoming thing of releases, words, English. So they showed off a 4-in-1 version of a Megatron that was it Origin, Monstrosity, Infiltration, and Generation 1, where it's the different accessories that you can clip onto him that give him various comic book looks, along with a Cliff Jumper and a Soundwave. I'm really digging actually the Soundwave because he looks like he can make a kind of cassette player look, but also just like a hauling semi-truck. A bevy of repaints of existing guys, and then a Beast Wars 2 or Beast Wars Transmetal 2, Megatron and Primal Prime or Optimal Optimus, and then also the thing that is probably going to be stupid expensive, but I want it that much more, a City Commander Final Battle Armor. That is a very, very missile packy, extra gunsy Ultra Magnus that comes with a Minimus Ambus. That I'm hoping that Minimus Ambus goes inside that Ultra Magnus somehow. I enjoy the Iron Factory stuff. All that pocket scale is where most of my third-party money goes. What about you guys?
I think that, I'm going to have to start putting some cash down for this Ultra Magnus. That thing looks amazing. The Megatron, now that you mention it, is 4-in-1. That looks really cool. Yeah, so I'm going to probably have to put some money away for that as well.
Even the slick thing is, look at the difference between like the Generation 1 arm cannon and the Origin arm cannon. It has different like other pieces that go into it.
That's so cool.
Between the versions.
That's very cool. It's like it's a different figure. I mean, really.
Yeah.
That's so really cool. I mean, I like all the secondary or tertiary characters, the Hound, the Mirage, and the Wheeljack they've got. They all look great.
Oh yeah, I skipped entirely over that slide. Yeah.
The racing brothers as well with Runabout and Run Amok. I don't know why, but I have a soft spot for those characters. I love them.
Are those repaints of Sideswipe and Sunstreaker, or are those
I believe
molds?
So. Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, because there was.
Yes. It's the sides.
It's a streaker one, isn't it? That's a streaker mold. I mean, it was essentially the same mold, but they did it a different way for each transformation.
Yeah, I think they completely reshelled it, but it's the same skeleton.
So I love that. Those guys are just numbskulls, and I love them. So I love getting figures for them. These guys are doing some really good work here, and this the pocket scale stuff. I mean, let's be honest, this Ultra Magnus is not pocket scale anymore. That thing's huge, but it brings the prices down, right? I mean, if you were going to get that Ultra Magnus in like a masterpiece scale, it'd be a Titan. So, right? So you need to do it in pocket scale. So yeah, I'm all in for this. I think it's great. Let's get more of this.
Yeah, I'm liking all this stuff too. One thing I noticed is the Mirage have 2 heads. I noticed it has like a toy head and a animation head.
Maybe.
Looks kind of that way.
It's trying to show something in that inset, but it's a thing that I can't quite tell if that's like. It's different, like white on the sides.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, but yeah, that the Megatron, that looks great. I mean, that as a fan of the IDW comics, that's something that's right up my alley. The Soundwave you mentioned as well, that turns into a little Cybertronian truck mode, as well as the tape player. That's cool. One thing I don't really like is the Cliff Jumper. At least the Cliff Jumper alternate mode looks kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it looks kind of like not the Mini, but there's like there's another one of those like city cars.
Oh,
what was that, like the Abarth or something like that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's a little bit squatter. But
I do like that he comes with his rocket launcher from the first G1 episode. Now I was gonna say, who is the teal Seeker jet?
Oh, probably one of the random rains.
Okay.
Was one of the Seeker jets in the Cyberverse that color? Because there were like a whole bunch of other Seeker jets in a couple episodes.
They've painted them all kind of weird, funky colors in the cartoon.
Yeah,
I don't know any of their names though.
Yeah, there was one of them where they dropped like all of one of those 2 episodes with all of them in there where they were like you and you go do whatever, and I was like, that was a whole lot of other names, and I think that they were all like rain based.
The story says Bitstream. Sorry, I didn't read that there.
Oh.
So it's that.
Oh, okay,
that
yeah,
one.
there. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh. Yeah. Stream, it's like rain, but in the ground, as I make hand motions like a stream across. I
think Jeremy would love the Beast Wars guys. They look pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. They do.
And Megatron is a dragon. They gave him like he's a 4-legged dragon rather than like the original toy is just 2 legs with the tiny arms. Mm-hmm. And here they've made him like a real 4-legged dragon.
Yeah, I think on that one the real like up or down for me would be if those wings are actually translucent, because the images look very much like CAD render. But if those things were translucent with paint the way that they were back in the day, that could really like make or break apparent value for Aaron. Does anybody else got anything on this?
Do you think
we go to Charles?
The EX number is representative of their release number, or just? I mean, we know it's their like number of the figure, but do you think they'll try and do this in release schedule of their number?
I think generally Iron Factory has kept pretty good on pace of the number is their release schedule. I think that I want to say that there was like 1 or 2 that like slipped around each other, where it still came out and it was like 1, 2, 4, 3, but it's never been like 1,
24.
2, 12, 24, 18, 9.
Okay, well if that's the case, then it puts basically it puts Megatron as one of the next figures coming out, which is very cool.
The Tyrant one,
because I mean you've got the slide with the Blue Streak, the Bitstream, the Nemesis, and the Knuckleheads is they're all variants, right? So they can come out whenever the hell they want. But
right, that's their whole like their letter after is normally like relating to. Like, so the Blue Streak one, since it's Genetic Blue Flash, so it's G, or the Nightmare Commander, so it's N.
So I think that that's cool. Charles and we don't have to wait for Megatron too long.
So is that about the end of everybody's thoughts on this? Go on to Charles and see what he has.
Yep. All right. Well, I have a couple of things. First up, we've got some War for Cybertron news. A new figure has been leaked. It's from Greenlight, which is one of the female Autobots from that classic episode, Search for Alpha Trion. She didn't actually have any speaking parts, but she was on screen for a little while. So they have basically retooled the Moonracer mold into another character. So Greenlight, and she does have a weaponizer partner called Dazzle Strike, which is a fun name. And she still comes with the little Prime Master shield thingy that turns into a hand. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of I'd like to I do want more female Transformers, but I'd like a different mold now, please.
That is such a good mold.
Also, not really a fan of the backpack.
But that means that it can have a combiner port that makes it such a good mold.
But this doesn't have a combiner port, does it?
This one does.
Oh, it does. Okay.
This is, according to the article, this is a redeco off of Moonracer, not off of Siege Chromia. Chromia in Siege, they removed the combiner port.
Just like Nova Star.
No,
Nova Star.
Nova Star had the combiner port.
Oh, did it? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm confused.
She's
So
still in the Prime Master part.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you can have 3 limbs on your Elita Infinite. And then be looking down at Chromia and be like, why?
And Chromia has all of, like, the crazy detailing, like battle damage detailing, and I think Greenlight doesn't. Does she? Doesn't look like she does.
The inbox doesn't have any of the muddy splash through a puddle stuff on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have the other story has, like, the package, like, out of package pictures of her. And you can see she has pretty clean design there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I wish they had done a better job with her bat kibble for this. If they're going to reuse this design so many times, I just wish they had done a better job with the kibble.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of the problem that you run into if you want something that's more lithe. It's probably harder to design something and not have to push all that kibble one place or another.
Yeah.
If you're fine with it being chunky and blocky, then you can, put parts of that kibble into the robot. But if you want it to have small arms and small legs, you got to put a car somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, they also make it harder if you're going to make it a combiner limb too. I mean, that puts extra constraints on there. And I don't necessarily need my female Transformers to be lithe and small arms and small thighs or whatever. So think about that, Hasbro. Like, yeah, we've got Strika out there. Give us a redesign of Strika. It's another, female Transformer with a different body type. I mean, also Greenlight, she had no speaking parts in the cartoon. I think she's popped up in the comics, I think a couple places, but never really had a standout character arc at any point, so it's a little weird, but
she's a blank slate. You can do whatever you want with her.
Sure.
Although I do like for the weaponizer where they have a different effect for it.
Oh yeah,
because the weaponizer that's out now, that I think it, like, the only difference is that it doesn't have the green paint maybe inside the blade, has a swooshy ice blue thing, and this is like a flaming sword fire thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does look pretty cool. Daryl, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, all women are the same, right? So we might as well make all their toys the same. I'm kidding. No, this is. I agree with you.
I knew this episode, or this whole show, had some horrible overtones on it, but man.
No, I agree with you, Charles. We can definitely give the female characters a different figure now. They deserve it. So let's go, Hasbro. Paint up something else. Yeah, I'm glad that the character is getting getting a figure. I just wish it was something a little different looking. It doesn't. I don't need it to be a combiner limb. Personally, I don't care about the all female combiner. I can see how people would want their all female combiner to be symmetrical. So having all the combiner limbs be the same vehicle would make sense, I guess. Combiner Wars was a long time ago. So,
also, except for the part where they took the combiner port out of Chromia, so I don't know.
Yeah. So as I sit here and look at this, the box says deluxe class, but this definitely has extra stuff that isn't in a normal deluxe, which really makes me lean into this being some sort of store exclusive.
Oh,
and I can see that definitely flavoring like the amount of work that Hasbro or Takara Tomy or whomever would put into this, because, you know, if it's something they're making for themselves, sure, we'll do whatever else. But if Target comes to them and says, hey, we want to do an exclusive, they probably said, well, here are the molds and here are the, you know, some quick ideas for these molds. What do you want? And so if it's a store exclusive, I can definitely see that why it's just like a new head and that's it, or a new head and a new effect part if that effect part isn't slated for some other repaint already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Because this is wider than the current Siege Deluxe boxes, so it's not a deluxe, at least a retail deluxe.
Yeah, none of the deluxes come with their own weaponizers, so yeah.
Correct.
So probably a higher price point too.
Probably, yeah, if store exclusive, and that's like a now $20 item and a $7 or $8 item, yeah. I could see this being a $30 package at a store.
Oh, well. Well, we'll keep on the lookout to see where this shows up. And, yeah, let us know if you're interested in this guy. Or lady.
That was your point before.
Sorry. Okay, so next I have another topic I just wanted to bring up, because we have been talking about the Masterpiece Optimus Prime version 3.0. And the Generations book, the Japanese book that kind of that is a yearly release that usually profiles a Masterpiece toy or upcoming Masterpiece toy. That book came out in the last week, and we have lots and lots of pictures of the Masterpiece, the new Masterpiece Optimus Prime, and including transformation pictures, so you can actually see the whole transformation process. You can see how crazy it is, all the things they had to do to get the...
It's only 12 steps. That's what the book shows.
Okay. I think there's some sub-steps in there.
Yeah.
This is like on South Park. Number 1, get underpants. Number 2, something. Yeah. Number 3, profit.
Yes. Why are you making it sound like that's a difficult thing to comprehend?
But yeah, this is pretty crazy how what they went through to get this guy to transform. The folding in windshield, double windshields folding in on itself, hiding away all the wheels. It's pretty amazing. I hope it's not. I hope it's more intuitive than it looks. I'll just say that.
Well, I mean, some of the things as it shows on this looks like it seems as if it's going to be like, if you know the sequence, you're going to be pretty good. You know, the beginning of it's kind of like crack the sides off a Prime. Yeah. And then you somehow go through and condense all of that down and then flip it inside out to make his legs. Mm-hmm. And then, then the rest of the cab just explodes into a bunch of tiny fragments and you put it back together. That might not be an intuitive part, but it seems like they're going a little bit closer to the better method of like things being able to happen in phase. Like, you know, you do all the leg and then it's done. And then you do, you know, all of the next part and then it's done. There have been some of the masterpieces where it's like, okay, you have to do this part in the leg and then go up to this part in the arm and get this out of the way so that you can do this other part of the leg and then flip over and then do this other part over here where it's like, wait, I was working on the arms. Well, no, you can't right now because if you move it now, you might break something. So instead, we're going to go back to...
I just like how it's half the sides of the cab end up in his legs.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
That's where I'm an engineering knob. I would like to see okay, how did that come about? Like, did you just decide, hey, I want to see if I could do it? Or was it really with the way that Part A and Part B were working, we really had to put this away from other place. So the options were pull the front of the cab all the way to the feet or something else.
Mm-hmm. And it's not even like a strip of the side. It's the entire side of the truck.
Right.
That's a lot of plastic to hide.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Also in this book, there is an interview with the design team. So, of course, the book is in Japanese, but on TFW 2005, some helpful people have translated the interview. So you can click the link in the story and see all the questions there. I didn't get the chance to read through all of this, but I'm sure it's got some interesting stuff. I don't know how deep they go into describing the engineering, but looks interesting.
I haven't read it either, but I do plan to. I just added a quick little thing to the bottom of your topic list here. There was a comparison by Cheem, who did use the MP44 and the two new third-party versions that are coming out of the MP Optimus, and he's that's the ones by Transform Element and Magic Square, and has compared them both in robot mode, front side, back side, and side, and then in alt mode as well. So if you're looking for comparisons from the official to the third party, take a look, because there's some pretty interesting comparisons here.
Yeah, that is cool.
I'd say about the only place where the official one falls behind a little bit is he's got a bit more backpack. Mm-hmm. But I don't like that. That's a profile angle that I think is okay to be a little bit thicker on, in my own opinion. But
I think in the alt mode, the truck latch or the hat, like the back of the truck, is an absolute mess on MP44s, and the other two, the unofficials, are definitely cleaner. Magic Squares is way thicker than it should be, but it's really clean. The Magic Squares is probably the best out of the three, but I think out of all three alt modes, probably Magic Squares got a better looking, truck cab, just, in my opinion. But yeah, just by looking at it, I think the truck cab version of Magic Squares probably would take it for me. With regards to the robot mode, though, yeah, the official's going to be tough to beat. The backpack is a mess. It's a big hefty backpack. So yeah, Magic Square's got a nicer profile, as well as the Transform Element. Again, these are two newer companies, right? So I don't know if taking a look at seeing what the third parties are going to be doing, they'll be cheaper. They're not official, so.
I will say, in Takara's defense, have you ever seen the latch plate of a semi-truck? Looks like a damn mess anyway.
Of course it is. You don't want to touch it.
Yeah, it's like half an inch of grease and all random parts.
Yeah.
It's not all clean and shiny the way that Magic Squares is. But no, that's a very interesting comparison there.
All right, well, that's my toy topics, so I think we'll move on to some trips to the store. All right, so this is where we show off all the awesome Transformers stuff we got this week. We do this as a YouTube video, so you can see everything in beautiful high definition. But we'll also put the audio right here in the show, so keep listening, and you can hear us describe everything in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store. Let's get into the stuff we got this week. I'm going to start off. I just got one thing. So I mentioned last week that I went to a signing for Tom Scioli, where I signed GoBot, got his GoBots comic signed. Also, the Transformers versus G.I. Joe comics. Got those signed too. So it was great meeting Tom at that signing. And I looked around that comic shop. That's a comic shop I don't normally go to. It's Phantom of the Attic in Oakland, Pittsburgh, where my normal store is Phantom of the Attic, Monroeville, which is a suburb of Pittsburgh. You don't really care about that, but anyway, the point is that was a store I don't visit frequently, and they had some Transformers items, and I found some Titans Returns twins. I found Cloudraker and Wingspan, so that's the Walmart exclusive pack.
Walgreens.
Or Walgreens, yeah, sorry.
It's on a sticker right there.
Well,
that's Walgreens.
Yes. I'm looking at the back of the box at the moment. But so I never tracked this down, and they had it at this comic shop. I guess they acquired it from Walgreens or somebody else and were selling it, so I picked it up. So that's what I got. Haven't opened it yet. I will open it, I promise.
We'll never open it.
But
so have you messed with the other halves of those twins?
I have the other Autobot. I did not get the other box set that had the Decepticon in it. Okay. So I will have 2 Autobot clones, but only 1 Decepticon clone. But I'm okay with that. So that's what I got. All right, Aaron, we'll hand it off to you. All
right, so I'm going to try a screen share thing here. So anybody watching, you get somebody else again. So I got a bunch of Siege for Cybertron, but the one that I've really been enjoying lately, and I figured I'd talk about, is Cog. And I didn't expect myself to enjoy him so much. Not so much for just like the transformation that he does, but the fact that he's a weaponizer. So I also got Sideswipe at the same time, and it's really cool because Cog just becomes a bunch of different weapons that can go on Sideswipe. So like this image here, I think one of the instructions for Cog have like the different ways that you can like stack him onto stuff. And one was like an offense mode, and then this one was like the defense mode because go-go boots are defensive or something. But just the way that he comes apart, so his like upper torso comes apart very easily, and it's actually like his transformation. So his upper torso and arms make like, what is it, like one of them is Gasket and one of them is Grommet, and together they become Cog.
Cool.
And so then his legs then are a separate thing, and can separate from like basically like the pelvic girdle. But so like with the offensive mode, you can take there's a peg that's like would be at like the small of his back that fits. So all of the Siege Deluxes have, as part of just the standard stuff that like I think we kind of saw the beginnings of early on, all of them have a central peg hole that ends up in the middle of their back. So for like this mode here, it fits perfectly for that to then peg so that you can have the bottoms of his feet, which have paint and look like guns. You can stack other stuff into that to make them more, even more impressive cannons. And then the way that his like upper body can fold 2 or 3 different ways around to have pegs be accessible. And so then the second part of it, where it is the offensive or the defensive mode, where I think we saw with like Shockwave, who isn't out yet, how he had like the mode that it looks like he has another set of like legs stacked on his shoulders. Mm-hmm. All of the deluxes at least have peg holes in the side of the shoulder, so that like here where the upper body connects in that fashion gives that a spot where that sort of armor piece can plug in. So it was between Cog and Sideswipe and getting to start to see what the play pattern is in Siege, especially if more of these weaponizers, because we've seen Brunt and Six Gun already, and other stuff. If there are other, like if they just come up with more of these things whole cloth for later waves, I'm going to be super excited. about that prospect, because just stacking things on top of things seems like it hits a fundamental neat spot. I kind of want to get 2 more cogs just to see how many layers of Go-Go Boot I can give.
Very cool.
I figured I'd make that my quick one and done.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Daryl, finish us off.
All right. Well, if you'll remember, last week we talked about an order that I had made to Hasbro Toy Shop. It arrived. I was beyond surprised because I didn't expect it to be here. So I'm not going to show all of it because I did order quite a bit of Siege. But I will show off 2 figures that I did open up and mess with. I got Megatron and Optimus.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So these are pretty cool. Let's go with Optimus first. Optimus, he's smaller than I thought he's going to be, but he's Voyager scale, I guess. He's got an interesting transformation. I think the most interesting part was how the wheels are in his abdomen here, in the sides, and they end up down here, which is kind of interesting. And then how everything just kind of folds back. It's very cool. And then this piece here, which everyone was really complaining about, there's the rest of the front is on the back there. So this thing just kind of folds over top of them and then comes around the top and then covers up after you open up this and everything. It's an interesting transformation, just to say the least, and I'll let everyone kind of experience it on their own, just to see how interesting it can be. I did actually really like just kind of messing with it. The truck mode is pretty well done. I mean, you get the little headlights on the roof, which I don't care about. They're not that big of a deal. The forearms are a little wide. That'll be okay. I'll be able to deal with that. That's your front headlights there, but whatever.
Look down those front headlights. They're like Gatling guns.
I know, right? They're cool. Now, I want to think of them more as like LEDs. So.
Oh, so he's just energy efficient?
That's right. Yeah. Now Megatron, on the other hand, he was frustrating to transform. Whether I try to do them without the instructions, but I ran into some frustration with him because he seemed like he didn't do enough. Maybe he was oversimplified, and I was expecting him to do more. I feel Chris's pain because he showed off a thing on Twitter, I think it was, where the head just doesn't stay up, and it's just it's and it's part of the transformation where it goes down, but the bar that it's on there is strong enough to keep it in one spot, but I wish it was a little bit more secured.
You just kind of mine just kind of mopes a little bit.
Oh,
just like with the head.
I do like the backpack is beefy enough to kind of give him that like if you wanted him to be like IDW style like Origins Megatron, he could be. But other than that, I do really like the rest of the look of him. He's very G1. I haven't tried to take off any of the battle damage yet. From what I understand, it's very easy, so I'm not worried too much about it. One of the parts on the Optimus is right over top of the insignia on his shoulder. I don't care. I've got lots of repro labels that I can use it on. But this one here, he was kind of cool. The arm cannon is quintessential. It's a perfect size arm cannon for him. This sword, I was trying to figure out, and like I said, I haven't looked at any of the instructions, whether you can actually move these blades away from the end of that. I mean, it's supposed to separate.
You wrote, okay, you got it separated now. Now you can just rotate them together around the keep going.
Together. Okay. Oh, I see.
So they're
there
on the same
go.
pivot. So when you make him a tank, you take the part that is closest to your hand and you plug it into his barrel, or not into the barrel, I think about like that, yeah. So then that ends up being his tank barrel, and the blade slides underneath the turret.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll mess around with that a bit. Yeah, it's it's fun. They're good figures. I do have, and I'll show them off on future shows. I do have all 4 deluxes, and I do have the weaponizer guys. I'm staying away from the Micromasters because, like I said before, I've got all of them originally, and they really haven't changed much. I'm enjoying it. I'm really looking forward to opening up Cog and seeing what I can do with him, like you said, Aaron. So, yeah, he'll be fun. But that's it. That's what I got this week.
All right, we're back from our trips to the store, and let's finish up the show with some feedback. So we have 2 comments from episode 307 on our website. First, from Xavier, a.k.a. Neurowing, one of our regular Discord members. I believe he's even listening right now as we read his feedback. So, hi there, Neurowing. Thanks for writing in. So, he says, greetings from Winnipeg, Canada.
He says Winterpeg.
Is that a real place? I just assumed he misspelled Winnipeg.
No, it's probably just winter in Canada.
Yeah, it's Winnipeg, but Winnipeg gets winter kind of harsh. So I'm sure he's experiencing that for the first time. So welcome to Canada.
So he has a comment about the RCs we've been talking about the last couple of episodes. So he mentions Fans Toys Rouge upgrades. He says, I am not the market for this, but I am not at all offended or surprised. If you have seen what a large segment of the Transformers female fandom art indulges in, just check the fan arts in Tumblr and DeviantArt. This is pretty tame in comparison. Plus, in essence, it's still practically just fan art in 3D form, not even official. The Firebird RC and Windblade, though, that caught my attention. They really remind me of Gadanar and Gaogaigar fembots. And he gave us a YouTube video for that's an anime. I am not familiar with that anime, but I did watch the little intro there. I will say, I'm guessing this, he mentions the female fandom art, but I'm guessing that this is not, the ones we talked about last week were not aimed at the female segment of the Transformers fandom.
No.
But, I think we reached that conclusion last week that we're not really interested in it. I will say, though, that if people are offended by that, I understand, because I think, over-sexualizing the female Transformers characters in particular is something is kind of won't appeal. If you happen to be a female fan who's into Transformers, that's kind of something that you have to deal with in a lot of other fandoms, and it's something that's I think is less of an issue in Transformers for the most part. So it's kind of something. I think it can leave a bad taste in your mouth. But
I'm curious to hear Aaron's thoughts, because this wasn't a topic I expected to hear on WTF.
No, I don't think that would have maybe come up on an odd episode, not on an even one. So sometimes these things slip around. It made a lot of noise across all the fandom, though. Man, I get it, but the biggest thing that gets me is most of the time when it seemed like it came up, it wasn't a matter of oh, check this out. It was oh, check this out. And it's yeah, those sure are some boobies you can put on another robot that was already extra kind of hippie humany, and then you put boobies. Oh, and yeah, and 2 of your 4 images show that you can poke at the boobies too. Cool. Man, you want boobies on your robot, that's cool, I guess. As far as the other aspects that this potentially leads into it, man, I had to moderate a lot of slash fiction out of the Prime forums back in the day. So there was a good portion of it was like, this doesn't even rate in the top 10 of weird stuff related to Transformers on that vein that Aaron's had to deal with. So it was a whole lot of like, okay, whatever. I'm glad that you're having your moment here, and I'm happy for you. But at least on TFW, that's something that's pushed down pretty rapidly because of the audience that TFW aims at is generally keeping it pretty PG-13. Mm-hmm. So like that it's a thing that happened. Yep, sure. That messed up. Yeah, all right. And then all of Twitter being like, it's boobies. So that's I guess my overall take on all of it, of just like, yep, sure is that.
Yep. All right. Well, next we have a treatise from Dual Mirrored Gridwork, one of our longtime listeners. He says this one's a short one, but this comment is, at least this is not my definition of short, but thanks for writing in, Dual Mirrored Gridwork. He does comment on the RC thing. I think he's kind of echoing that it was a little weird. He also says, he's familiar that there is a section of the fandom that is interested in this, but it's not for him. He also mentions like he saw RC as more of a Princess Leia of Transformers, which I think that's how she was originally designed back in Transformers the movie, so that's not surprising.
The whole thing on the side of her head, just Leia's buns.
Yeah, exactly. And he mentions that too. And yeah, so she's been the strong female lead. Also, he mentions that Windblade has also filled that role more recently. So it's a little weird to have these, try to sexualize these bots in this way. Moving away from that topic, he also mentions in War for Cybertron Siege, he's interested in a Jetfire. So I don't remember. Did you guys hear that there was a Jetfire listing or teasing for War for Cybertron Siege?
Yeah, not that I can recall.
Well,
it'd be nice, but
which I think that Jetfire would definitely fit in with the way that they're doing leaders, because you could have the Jetfire like base jet and then like all the fast pack stuff as the like add-on
extra stuff. Yeah, that would work.
Well, he says that I don't remember this, but he says that Ant from TFU.info, who was on, when did we have him on? We had him on for New York Comic Con, wasn't it New York Comic Con?
Might have been Comic Con, sure.
This fall. It was October. It was just a couple months ago.
Sure.
But he says that Dual Mirrored Gridwork says that he said that on our show that this Jetfire was coming. So I don't remember that. And that it might be a remold or a partial tool of Starscream's mold. But he says he's interested in that, but he's also interested in the Iron Factory version of Jetfire that's Cygnus, and he's the closest thing to a G1 version that we'll get we'll be getting recently.
I have Cygnus and enjoy it.
Nice. Okay. So there's a vote of confidence. So that's the main comments from Dual Mirrored Gridwork. So thanks for writing in, and we always appreciate your feedback, DMG. All right, well, that'll do it for this episode of Transmissions. Thank you, Aaron, for joining us on short notice. Maybe you want to tell everyone where they can find you on the internet, and want to pimp your podcast too, if you...
Yeah, so one of the hosts on the better half, the even episodes of WTF at TFW, we're the, official podcast of TFW 2005 for over 10 years now. We did absolutely nothing special for our 10-year anniversary, so it's called Apathy at some point, I guess. We've Evangelist and I have been hitting the Transformers TCG relatively hard as of late. So you have interest in that, we've got a couple of recordings that we've done with the brand manager of Drew Nolasco. Other than that, you can find me most places around the internet at AKSMTH, just because it's a bunch of dumb letters that nobody else went for, and my last name's Smith, so you don't have a whole lot of options for unique things that incorporates your own name. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool. And it's getting close to the holidays, so I don't know what the next couple of episodes are going to be. We're going to try to, we try to stay on schedule even through the holiday break. So, but hopefully we'll have some good episodes for you, over the holidays. So happy holidays, everyone. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Diwali, Ramadan. Anything else I missed? Festivus.
I'll say you get in trouble there.
Any other holiday I missed? Solstice? I don't know. Whatever you celebrate, hope you enjoy the time off. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Later.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this episode of Transmissions. But just because this episode is over doesn't mean the Transformers fun has to stop. Join us and other Transformers fans on our Discord chat server by visiting transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. If you would like to learn more about how you could support the Transmissions Podcast, just visit transmissionspodcast.com/support. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you again next week.
You guys don't record with an audience, do you?
Oh, no. God, no.
We can't even get in their Discord. Their Discord is still private.
I know. God. I think if anyone would, it would be
which
us.
Discord?
The WTF Discord.
There's not a WTF Discord.
Oh,
if there is, it's somebody lying to you.
Oh, man. I'm getting confused.
All right, let's talk about Transformers. Let's forget the.
I guess it's not as fun to mock him when he doesn't have his headphones in. This is the dog. You pooped yourself over this. He's like, no, I didn't. You had to go home because there was poop in your pants. No, it wasn't that. It was because I dropped my drink. It's like, yeah, sure. Then why'd you smell like poop? I hope you keep that sound effect rather than actually dubbing in the real thing.